I'm going to read a little bit about Lu. Also, they live kind of off the grid on the side of a mountain. So, I like to take a little risk. You feeling risky? We've got at least two people that are going to call in from Mexico and one person from the side of a mountain. Hey, Lu, are you there? I'm going to slowly read their bio as they come to the screen. Lucia Hawkins is an interdisciplinary, ecologically hearted, evolutionary minded wordsmith and community herbalist, driven by a bone deep desire to decrease the harm in the world while centering relationships. They are really interested in what is possible and delight in facilitating direct experiences with nourishment, safety, belonging, and joyful dedication to process. They can be found at Meraki Pharmacy. Also, you should follow them on Instagram. One of my favorite things to do, and I think I'll have Abigail put their stuff in the chat. Ways to find Lucia. Hi, Lu, are you there? Meraki Pharmacy, I love Lou's short videos. I don't know. Do y'all follow some people? I know. TikTok.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, you're there.
I'm so sorry, guys. I've been here. You're amazing. I don't know how to work. This is not my technology.
Yeah. What do you need?
Can you can you see me?
I can't. Would you go down to the bottom of your screen? I can hear you and look at video. Can you click video on? You're there. Look, we just needed that like little
Hi.
bit of attention.
Hold
You're
my
there.
hand.
Hi, Lou, from the
Hi.
ceiling on the side of a mountain.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here. I just did your
I'm so
bio.
sorry.
It's okay. This is
I heard it
Lou.
all. I've been here. You're great. You guys are hilarious.
Thank you. I can't take any credit for Andrea. I really can't. I would like to. So we're going to cross our fingers. This is another one where Lou, did you see that dissertation in Lou's hands? If anything goes awry, this is going to be, I'm sure, existing on all of their social media. So without further ado, while we have you on the video, I'm handing it
Yes,
over to
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Yo, I can cram so many things into 15 minutes and even 25 minutes. Why don't you sit back and relax? I'm going to give you a little sermon, um, a little different than the one we just heard, but hopefully it gets you laughing a little bit. And come find me in all the places where you would expect to find me. All that information will be shared. Send me your comments, your questions. Let's collaborate. Let's build. I am Lucia Hawkins here with what I'm calling Thinking Ecologically for the Relational Revolution. I am a community herbalist. I'm a land steward. I'm a bunch of other things here working with plants and land and human kin to decrease the suck and increase the rad, if you're interested. But in all seriousness, I am very serious. When I say rad, I am referring to that first root that comes down out of a seed and down into the dark. That first root is called a radical. When I say rad, I mean the source, the origin, the first contact, the rooting in as we grow up and out and around. You are here today because of basic trust, and I'm going to match that. You're trusting my integrity of practice, and I am trusting that you are sincere and serious about how we care for other people and ourselves outside of systems of harm. We are going to talk about some hard things. I name things. I say the thing. That's absolutely part of my reputation. It's what helps build trust. It's what people appreciate. It's often what brings people to Meraki Pharmacy, and it's why they refer their people, and it's why people stay. So may this be a conversation starter, as this is not all encompassing, right? There's a lot of nuance and complexity, but this is informed. This is urgent, and it's actually pretty beautiful. because we are choosing the life affirming. We are choosing reciprocity. We're choosing respect, and not just for ourselves and other humans, but for all life. Real quick, I am currently in remission from living with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which was undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, invalidated, stigmatized for decades. I endured much of the spectrums of violence for decades with humans and systems. And I speak clinically. I was dissociated and in survival mode for most of my life, for decades. I am proof of what is possible when a lot of things come together, when we're kind of unrelenting, but when we decide and dedicate to process and center reciprocity and right relations with nature. I never could have imagined the health that I experience in my own amazing body, nor the joy of of being in good enough, healthy enough relationships, nor could I have imagined the rejuvenating qualities of being out in community with people, not just dispensing these revered homegrown remedies for folks, but sharing the stories and sharing the wound wisdom and being a part of the processes of healing, of preventing, of responding, that so many people seek and choose, and that is very brave, and it is all a really big honor. I want to really stress that I think it's super important to listen to people when they share their stories and when they share their wound wisdom, because it's a great honor, and I don't think there's really much better learning opportunity for how to decrease the suck and increase the rad. We have a problem with celebrity culture, right? And so some people, we tend to look really, really far outside of our own communities for those kinds of wisdom. I can guarantee you they're right around you. There are people right around you with so much skill and talent, as evidenced here today. Okay. One thing I like to do is I like to just quickly show a map, unfurl the map, and I show how all the different violence is interconnected and it grows from the root of disconnection. There's nuance and complexity, of course, as we know. But in modeling this framing, I hope that you'll be able to see the mile markers and reorient when you're on these adventures, and spot the traps, right? Spot the traps that are internalized that we take into ourselves, and the traps that are around us. And we spot them, and we immediately and repeatedly dose with the antidotes. Let it be so. All right, we ready? Let's all take a really big, deep breath, because we're putting our attention and intention onto collective experiences that have been predicted economically, ecologically, esoterically, and ethically. We know that they are patterns, and we know that some patterns should be honored and some patterns must and can be broken. I'm going to take a sip. Cheers. Did I thank you for being here? So, if all systems of violence, discriminations, and oppression rely upon disconnection, all versions and evolutions of these systems are upheld by participation, by people participating in them. And we know that they are exploitative, extractive, exhaustive, degenerative, toxic. We know our American economics and our governance are pretty intertwined, assuring each other's mutual security, which gives us antidote and remedy. So take note, spot the traps. These systems get the participation from us most often through coercion, which I describe as the manipulation of human needs for safety and belonging. And we know those needs are totally natural and amazing and beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with needing that. When the coercion doesn't work, the violence escalates. We know this is predictable. We know that this is invented. We also know that this is only one possibility of about 500 years compared to 300,000 years of humaning. there are other options. The places of disconnect where the sucky systems feed and gain strength are disconnection from your own body, our body sovereignty, our body wisdom, our body pride, our body communications, our inherent interconnections with all other bodies, disconnection from the bodies of your people, language, land, culture, ritual, medical care, rites of passage, song, story, folk traditions, also from belonging and from trust, right? It's disconnect from the bodies of earth, the water and the soil and the bugs and the birds and the meadows and the deserts. It's disconnection from the cosmos, our stories, our myths, the planets, the stars, our faith. It's also disconnection from the bodies of other people and people who may not look like us or pray like us or marry like us or they just live somewhere else. And disconnection from the bodies of time, like seasons and planets and lunar cycles. Like, why can't we eat when we're hungry and drink when we're thirsty and rest when we're tired or stay home with the baby? We know these things. And I know you might be thinking, like, oh, but Lou, it's not that simple. The map is simple, right? And the prevention and the remedies are harder to implement because it requires our choice, which is the antidote to coercion. It requires our choice, our will, our energies, our dedications. It requires our communities, and all the while still existing within that extractive, exploitative, exhaustive system. And the systems depend on that disconnection, right? And the disconnection from community and the disconnection from knowing that another world is possible, which is why we have to work together. We have to rest, we have to dream, we have to soothe, we have to nourish, we have to relax, we have to ask for help, we have to meet other people's needs, and we have to do it together because we can't feed the demanding machine and feed ourselves and our communities all that we deserve simultaneously. We can't do it alone, certainly not as the rugged individual or the lone pioneer. No, we do it as ecosystems, ecosystems within, ecosystems without. And so meaning outside of yourself, and maybe even outside of your most intimate circle. But I would start there, right? Like with the people who call you when the sitter cancels and the people you call when the car won't start. These systems bend us into feeding. The systems bend us into feeding them often through coercion, as I said, that myth of the rugged individual, supremacy, ageism, classism. Think about how many times you have gone to the table and asking for human rights or better working conditions or just reasonable expectations for human beings, and an offer is made and they just offer the money, right? They'll throw the money at it, maybe, without, or just promise, right? Give the promise of perceived security, but not fixing anything at all, right? And then what happens? They say, hey, you can be one of us, just don't rock the boat. Throw that guy under the bus, scapegoat this person, we'll take care of you. It's a lie. We know it's a lie. They've assigned our values and desires a number, and we buckle in fear and we sell out and we hope it'll all be okay. And we tell ourselves we're just doing what we have to do. And we realize that we just got, right? Right. But we tell ourselves the money is good and the kids are okay. And we think about how much worse it could be. Like, oh my God, I could be Black in America. I could be a single mother. I should just be grateful for all this that I have. Thank you. But your back hurts and you can't sleep and you doom scroll and you binge drink and your knee aches, and maybe you just need some supplements, so you keep scrolling for the answer. And then we remember, hopefully, maybe, right, that the answer is get outside. The answer is get to know yourself truly. The answer is you're going to have to be radically honest with yourself about how you and your ancestors and those around you were coerced and maybe even willingly participate in the intergenerational cycles of violence and harm, sometimes even to your own kin, definitely to whoever is assigned other, and absolutely to land and therefore to everyone. And that is a terrible thing to sit with. That sucks. So maybe you'll buy into some guru spiritual bypassing bullshit, burning white sage and drinking the sacred plants of the few people who survived genocides. Still not the antidotes nor the remedies. Go outside. Go to Mayraki Pharmacy and places like it. Go to the roots. Go to the radical. Go to the dark, oppressed places within you. We will stand guard while you're down there. And when you emerge with those nuggets of gold and that wound wisdom, we will celebrate and grieve together. The remedies for extraction and exploitation are in repairing, mending, and sharing before buying new. It's breaking up with your bank and going to the local credit unions and cooperatives. The remedy is a commitment to no more fragrance oils and products of plastic, no more pyramid scheme essential oils, demanding deforestation and further colonial violence against the indigenous peoples and their lands and their closed practices. Break up with the promise of convenience. It's a lie and it's killing you too. The remedies for isolation and scarcity is getting out into community. Sow seeds of all kinds. Get intimate with the plant from seed to seed. And see, experience firsthand the abundance, the millions of seeds for generations contained in a single flower. The remedies are trusting kids. It's believing survivors. The remedy is moving beyond acceptance and embracing the beauty that you have more in common with most primates than you do the people elected and appointed to make decisions on your behalf, proven time and time and time and time again that they are not our friends, they're not our saviors, they are not just like us, and they're not even remotely concerned with us other than how they can exploit and extract the last bit of life, just as they do to the rivers and the woodlands, the seas, and the soils. It's okay to feel a lot of feelings about all of this. It's okay to howl into the night. I assure you, I am howling back. I know it's hard to really look at, but we've unfurled the map and we've identified all these different various places where all of these systems of suck intersect, which shows us immediately where remedies and preventions and solutions are. The beauty of this is that every single choice you make every single day to starve cycles of violence and feed systems of care is that you're joining millions of others also doing that. And that is threatening. And that is mutual empowerment. And that is ecology. And that is revolution. I have so much more to say. I am going to share this with anyone who would like to come get it. I'll email it to you. Email me, follow me, come to MayrockyPharmacy.com. I want to share a couple more things. In identifying the traps, right? And therefore identifying antidotes and remedies. So systemic violence has all of these shared characteristics and it's upheld by people, right? And you're wondering what you can possibly do in the face of all these big systems. So anytime you're playing by the rules because it's business as usual, or whatever every time you're perpetuating capitalist extraction, but calling it girl bossing or entrepreneurship or just doing what you have to do, right? Stop. Yes, stop. Because you're doubling down on extraction and doubling down on violence, right? It's not protecting you. The remedy for all of this is simultaneous, collective, organized, consistent disruption, chiefly by being independent from these systems. I know. And then a lot of people freak out, but they're like, what are the other alternatives? Hi. Listen to people who have been surviving and even thriving outside of these systems for their lives and I hope for generations. Some examples of this: mutual aid networks, especially in your region, right? Community land projects, land back efforts, conservation, decolonizing your relationships with land, 1000%. Worker cooperatives, repair cafes, seed and food sovereignty, that is regional, networked, organized, and public supported, grassroots initiatives, general strikes. I also highly recommend learning about how the harm reduction model can be applied and emulated across community concerns and different health issues. If the remedy for scarcity is getting outside in Mother Nature, right? Mother is incredibly abundant. She takes care of all of us, no matter how poorly some of us treat her. That's some sincerely moving stuff when you think about that. Um, Centering relationships with nature as living, sentient, sacred life forms reconfigures our orientation to wealth, to abundance, to safety, to belonging, and to community. Because they're not commodities, right? They're living beings just like us. When you find yourself in this scarcity, right? And this is part of what classism and this stuff does, is you see each other as competitors and not as kin. Spot the traps. Spot the traps and return to vitality. Another big trap that I would point out is an intolerance of differing opinions, perfectionism, cancel culture, and avoidance of conflict. So people love to talk about community, but community is still, it's messy, it's real, it's raw, it's vulnerable. We still bring all our stuff into community. So being honest, radically honest humans, and patient with one another, and conflict resolution. There are many remedies that simultaneously starve the exploitation machines that feed your community and restore your own vitality. So you have this trifecta of no, yes, yes, yes. I think the most important ones of those is to repair your relationship with time, which means recentering and integrating cycles that are natural, that are nature. So anything from astrology, which is preventative care and intentionally discredited because it's so connective, because it's so empowering, and because it depends on your free will and choice, right? Compared to a system that depends on your coercion. Antidotes. Especially, that's a great way to just stick it to capitalism is is reclaiming your relationship with time. And also through your own cycles and your own rhythms and all of that, and the cycles of the season. So, and specifically where you live and where your people are from. Once again, because it connects you to life, not coercion. Eating when you're hungry, drinking when you're thirsty. So, how can you divest from the extractive expectations of working, of mothering, of humaning? And how do you support those around you right where you are? How can you do how can you do something that feels really good and brings your innate skills into your community? Because we have to be able to sustain and maintain these things over time, right? That's the tricky part, is we enter with a sense of urgency. The urgency is making the commitment. The urgency is dedicating aspects of your everyday mundane boring ass stuff, those choices that you can make over and over and over and over again. Maybe it's you're breaking up with your bank. Maybe it's you're not using Roundup anymore. Whatever the thing you choose today is, cool. And then you keep adding it, right? And you come to people like everyone here today, presenting and listening, right? And matching that energy and that compassion and that will. And staying connected, right? Do what you can where you are with who's around you with what you got and connect into all of these networks because the more networked we are, the less the harder it is to fuck with us. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it. Loads more. Come see me. I really appreciate your time. Repair your relationships with time, repair your relationship with Mother Earth, which is like just go outside and be with her. Like, don't do a hike, don't make it a productivity thing, just be with her. She loves you, she misses you. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Call me.
The brilliant Lou. Y'all, don't you think this one needs a book? I mean, there's just so much.
Call me.
You're on it.
Please.
On it.
Please.
Book,
Someone, anyone, please
please.
help me. Help me.
Oh, good, because there's at least 2 or 3 people in this room that can help you.
Cool.
And one of them's me. Y'all, a word, several.
Thank you.
What? What's what is so awesome about Lou is that Lou is there are many awesome things about Lou. Lou walks the talk, lives the life, makes, I mean, on the ground, in the dirt, with the people, like breathing, living their integrity and their knowledge and care. If you want to you're like, oh, this feels like a long way away from my life in suburbia. I thought so too. I have learned so much from Lou and have like I have a garden in the backyard because of Lou. Like I just like keep learning and keep learning, keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Learn with Lou. That's your commercial for the minute. Lou stands on
Thank
business.
you.
You're welcome, love. Thank you for spending time with us. And now
Thank you.
no internet left for the rest of the year, but they chose to spend it with us. Okay, really. I liked our little cookie. We had delicious cookie, but in the middle, I put Lou. But wait, it's not over. I'm gonna stop the recording because we need a breath. Here goes the recording stopping.